です。サイコブレイクがね、一段落したので、ちょっとこっちに戻ってきました。こっちもね、ちょっと操作忘れちゃいそうだから、ある程度進めてみて、これくっそ時間かかるわって思ったら後回しにするかもしれない。サイコブレイクはね、またちょっと DBD でコラボが確定したら、また2に向けて、ね、やり直すかもしれないけど、ちょっといろいろ回収したいものとかもあるんだけど、やり込み始めちゃうとね、もう終わんなくなっちゃうんで、とりあえずこっちやっていこうと思います。そう、×ボタンなんだよね、これね。決定が。さて、とりあえずね、殺さないヴァンパイヤの路線で私はクリアしていきたいけど、どうなんだろう。ちょっとね、これは本当に全然わからないんで、実況とかも見たことないし、本当に初見の初見なのでね。なんだったっけ、主人公の名前。もうそっからなんだけど、なんかめっちゃロード長いぞ。嫌な予感する。大丈夫かな。大丈夫か。いや、でも音楽かっこいいね、このゲーム、やっぱり。ちょっとこの中性感。ライムハウスの港。殺人者の痕跡を追う。もうね、いろいろと操作忘れたわ。ウィッチャーセンスね。すべて補充。ここ隠れ家か。いやーもうね、やれること多すぎてもうわかんないよこれ。地図とかどう、はいはいはい。でメインクエストがもうすぐ近くってことね。はんはんはん。もう完全に朝栗とウィッチャー混ぜたようなゲームだよねこれね。オートファジー500ポイント。ボディ体の状態健康ヘルスを増加します。ポイント300。ポイント300。300あんだよね。とりあえず体力増やしとく。ちょっとね、怖いもんね。オッケー。あと200ポイント。200じゃ何もできなさそうだから、とりあえず。いいえ。で、実行。次の夜？何？時間経っちゃうの？もう全然操作をね、忘れてしまったよ、私は。わからんけど出よう。殺人鬼の痕跡を追う。
The trail is very erratic, as if the killer was drunk or hesitant.
なんかいろいろ出てきてるけど。
At last, a little life.
いや、こんなさ、血だらけでさ、人の前出てって大丈夫なの？ちょっと。
Welcome, sir, to the turquoise turtle.
どうも。
Damn it. I think. Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I
いや
apologize
血
for
だ
my
らけやべえ
outfit.
だろ。
It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
ああ、いろいろ危険だ。
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
あ、間違えた。もう一回聞け
Hello,
る？
sir. May I disturb you again?
And you're still ugly as sin.
What's going on around here? It's like everybody is hiding.
You must be new here. Have you not heard about the murders? Everybody fears the return of the sewer dog.
下水の犬？
Who is this sewer dog?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every crime that happened for decades. You murdered someone, blame the sewer dog, eh?
You make it sound like it's a fairy tale.
People will always believe in monsters. It's easier than accepting their own darkness.
めっちゃ酔ってん
We
じゃ
can
ん。
all be monsters.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous
そうなんだ
doll.
ね。
See?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go, don't they?
ありがと
I'll
う。
leave you to your bottle then.
うん。酒瓶とよろしくやって。
My God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you
ク
out
ジ
of
ラに
hell.
地獄から吐き出されたような
No,。thank you. I'm not.
え、お金持ってんだから
Well,
さ。
grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be
あ
another
優
long
しいね。
night.
買い物しないのに。人を探しています。このびっくりマークは何なんだろうな。
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
ああ。
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
この字幕の切り方嫌だな。
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room.
Oh.
Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire
1
week.
週間分部屋代。おお。
How long has he been here?
He rented the room a few days ago and didn't say when he'd leave.
I need to meet this man. I have questions.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me? This is a respectable establishment.
オッケーオッケー。サンキュー。広え、こういうの見えんだ。すっげえ。すごいね、ウィッチャーセンスじゃなくてヴァンパイアチェンセンス。
It's locked, all right.
ヴァンパイアセンスやべえな。フラットクオリティ。へえ。
There's gotta be something can be done to get out of this bullshit mess.
なんでも見えんじゃん。ヴァンパイアセンスやべえな。不明。どうも。
Hello, sir. Are you all right? Is there any way I can help you?
I don't know. Maybe you could just talk to me.
Maybe you prefer to speak with Tom then. He's more agreeable talking to strangers.
トムって誰？
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, a turquoise
ああ、
turtle.
トムってあの人か。
I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
Are you always open this late at night?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
What's going on around here? Where
ま
is
た同じ
everyone?
質問
Too
しと
many
るわ
dead, sir. First the epidemic. And now all these terrible
疫病の
murders.
次は殺人ね。
The murders. What can you say about them?
Bodies found in the streets every morning.
ああ、
Drains
血
of
を抜かれて
It's just
ヴァンパイアやん。
Some say the sewer
ま
dog
た
is
出た
back.
下
The
水の
sewer
犬。
dog. What's that?
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed. But now he's killing in the streets.
What have you heard about the epidemic?
There's a Spanish flu. Yeah. Killed so many last summer. Thought we'd seen the last of it. Dozens dying every week.
Are the authorities doing anything?
Nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
ありが
I'll
と
leave
ね
then. Thank you.
健康。ほう、話すとちゃんと見えるんだ。サブリナ・キャンバンディッシュ。すげえな。トム・ワッツ、ダイソン・ディレニー。すっげえ。すごいな。ヴァンパイアセンス。あ、不明誰かいる。
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Do you,
バレて
sir?
んやん。
You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire! Who are you? I mean you no harm. Saith the vampire. Present yourself! I need a word.
めっちゃ十字架聞いてるやん。
Anyone.
Oh. 死なないんだね、十字架向けられても。
Well, that's something I can do for you.
예, なんかイケメン結構好みかも、このおじさん。何、味方なの？
And who might you be?
エドガー・スワンジー医師。ほう。なんかすごい中心人物っていうところに来たけど。ほう。
I'm not sure that I know anymore.
そうだ、ジョナサンだ、主人
Might
公。
I at least learn the reason of your presence?
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
これ自分だったりしないの？大丈
Calling
夫？
card of a vampire. Like you.
ヴァンパイアだってバレてるけどね。
I've been hunted down in the streets and attacked. I'm a victim here too.
I believe you.
お、意外と信じてくれる
Then
の
if
ね
you。are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
ほうほうほ
And what exactly is this brotherhood?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then we shall discuss it another time.
う。意外と何も教えてくれないな。
What have you uncovered concerning the murders?
It started a few nights ago. Rumors of violent murders. The docks have always been, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. But this is different.
はあ。
How different?
A vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
あ、排除しなきゃってことなのね。
I heard another voice, that of a woman. Who were you talking to?
Ridiculous. I've no idea what you're talking about.
あれ
Something
濁
tells
され
me
た。
not to trust you.
Then the feeling is mutual.
あれなんか急に喧嘩が腰になったけど。
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We're both chasing the same shadow.
なんかこの人怪しくない？
Perhaps. This is all new to me. I'm not even certain what I'm looking for.
You should let me handle this affair. You've no idea what you're up against.
No. I will find the monster. He is mine.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your intentions if you find the killer?
I'll end him.
Then I can only wish you good hunting. And pray we shall meet again.
またお会いしましょう。なんか助けてくれんじゃないの？開けられんじゃん。あ、目の前で盗んだけど大丈夫なの？大丈夫なんだ。地元の人から情報を聞き出す？
It's locked.
てかさ、あなた着替えなさいよ、血だら
If
けで。
Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something.
やっぱトムにもう一回聞いてみるか。
Welcome back. Did you find what you were after?
I can't say I have. Are you sure no one else came into your bar before I arrived?
Hey, I told you, you were the only other stranger I've had.
I think you're hiding something from me.
I hide many things from many people, sir. That's what my
まあ
job's
確かにそう
about.
だよな。ヒントが必要？ ヒントが必要ってどういうこと？
Evening, sir. Can I help you?
I have a few questions for you.
Well, if you must.
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
ウィリアム・ビショップ？
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk as usual. But my God, his eyes, his face. He must have caught something awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Why are you so afraid?
I mean, his skin, his hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
ああ。
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
ヒントを発見しました。市民本人や関係者の秘密を知ることができます。ああ。はあはあはあ。 なるほどね。相手のことを知れば知るほど血を吸った時のクオリティが上がるんだ。へえ。ダイソン・ディレニーって誰？あの酔っ払いか。はあはあ。なんとなくシステムが分かってきたぞ。
You again. What can I do for you?
すみませんね。ヴァンパイアのあなたは事前に発見したヒント、青色の画面表示を使うことで市民の情報を強制的に聞き出すことができます。ほう。
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
そうなの？
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What'd you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
お掃除してるのね。お疲れ様。こっちか。船着き場。ああ、出てだね。ああ、間違えた。操作がね、まだいろいろと慣れないです。
Not long ago, this sort of mess would have given me a laugh.
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city?
船を調べる。いるじゃん。
The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood.
あれ？
This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim.
やられた人か、これ。
What's this? Some sort of note.
詳細。湾岸地域で複数名の死亡を確認。薄れたヒルが関与。獣の居場所を特定し速やかに排除せよ。警告。最近の報告によればこのヴァンパイアは非常に暴力的だ。最大限の注意を払って接近せよ。この辺りに人が足りて把握しているが、この件に新人を送り込むことはしない。もし俺が正しければ我々は毎晩人を殺し凶暴な一匹を相手にすることになる。いつも通りまずは廃棄された場所、廃屋や地下室や下水や倉庫などを調査するように。ヒルを滅ぼすのだ、兄弟たちよ。はあ。なるほどな。なんとなく分かってきたぞ。
They're a company of professional vampire hunters. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself.
結局やられたってことだよね、ヴァンパイアに。
Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker. There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
あっちね。あ、飛べるのか。うわー、強えな。さすがだね、ヴァンパイア。ブリベンのガンナー。やばくない？あれ見つかったらやばいやつでしょ。あ、間違えた。攻撃しちゃった。普通にいるじゃん。かがんだりってできなかったっけこれ。 もう操作忘れてるし、ブラッドポイント使っちゃったわ。あれさ、見つかったらやばいやつじゃない？奇襲攻撃、敵の背後で密かに入力。やっぱり倒さなきゃダメなの？よくわからない。三角、装備して三角を押す遠距離武器を使って通常ダメージとスタンダメージを与えます。弾薬には限りがあるため注意しましょう。
Ammunition crate. Good. I may need a lot of bullets. I feel like I'm back on the front line again.
いるじゃん。
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
プリフェンの処刑人。強そうじゃん。あの人やばない？自分よりレベル高いよ。下の人はレベル低いね。大丈夫だね。ベル3で周囲の敵を発見してエネミーカードを表示させます。一部の敵は特定のダメージに対して高い抵抗力を持っています。抵抗力に次の4種類があります。難しいな。オレンジの表示は中程度の抵抗力、赤い表示は高い抵抗力。遠距離ダメってことか。基本遠距離ダメってことだね。銃とかダメってことだね。ちょっと待って。装備。普通に強いんだけど。痛い。いや普通にちょっと操作がこれか。操作がね普通にね、これさどうやって照準合わせんの？間違えたわ。わからんです。銃の扱いがわかりません。 間違えた。もうもったいない。だいぶブラッドなくなっちゃったけど。どこにいるの？下か。なんか上からなんかキルできた気がすんだけど。銃のさ、照準の合わせ方がわからん。ほっ、普通に銃ダメだし。火やばい。銃痛い、銃痛い。体力回復ようなんどうやんだっけ、忘れちゃった。あ、これか。よし、ブラッドも回復。もうハンターはガンガン倒していいのかな。見つかったわ。はあはあはあはあはあ。近接いけるってことね。間違えた。これが回避か。だいぶ操作忘れてるな。暗くてね、ここ。いるな、まだ一人。隠れ家の近くにはよくネズミが出現します。近くは歩さネズミを見つけやすくなります。ほう。ちょっと溜まってるな。ちょっとライフ回復はね、大事。これあんま時間かけすぎない方がいいのかな。ちょっとよくわかんないけど。まだちょっといろいろとね、システムがわからないっすね。近くに敵いるね。武器アップグレード。銃はいいから。アップグレードってどうやるの？必要な材料を使って武器のレベルをアップグレードすることができます。あ、なるほどね。 はあはあはあはあ。拾うものはあれか、アップグレードの材料なんだ。いろいろと足りてないけど、まあいいや。とりあえずマチェットはレベルアップしたから。ネズミはいい。なんで復活してんのお前ら。ちょっともう長くて読む気失せるな。いいや。ちょっと目的地が分かりません。この辺だよね、やっぱ。船着き場から結婚を追う。結婚を追う。
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
As one, we shall overcome.
いるね。
No, I had a drink outside tonight already, and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more. Oh dear God, not again, William, please.
両手武器を装備した状態で三角を押すと特殊アビリティが発動します。例えば鎌を使えば攻撃をバリーすることができ、タイミングが合えば強力なスタンダメージが発生します。おー。ああ、そっか。これで銃が外れちゃうんだ。なるほどね。まあ、とりあえず鎌ちょっと持ってみるか。ああ。
This place reeks of bloodshed.
Will please let go of me. Oh my God, William, I can't stand it anymore.
どこに何がいるの？
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
敵やん。なんかラスボスやん。おお、なるほど。パリー。おっと。回復。なるほどね。痛い。 おい、オッケー。大丈夫か？
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
We knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
やばいやばいやばい。誰？
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by skull?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
さっき話してた人でしょ。
You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
確かに。あー、やっぱヴァンパイアなんだ。スカル、つまりなんかもうあれか、その見境なく血を吸うようになっちゃったヴァンパイアってことか。なんかうさんくせえなこの人。さっき何もしてくれなかったくせに。
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
確かに、ちょっと調べさせて。
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire?
なるほど、これでサンプルもらえんだ。
I must find a place to analyze the blood.
なるほどな、だいぶ分かってきたよ。いや、ボートがなんかいいね。テンション上がるわ。ちょっとこんなのんびり走ってたら日に焼けない？私大丈夫？
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy.
なるほどね。
Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of
今
Pembroke
プレイ
Hospital
グって言って
I
た
thought
ね。
you were here in
疫
service
病
of。your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
of St. Paul's Stone, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
今の何さ、ま、ドクタ
Have
ー
we
レイ
met?
マーベラス。
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war.
え、ファンじゃん。自分のファンじゃん。
And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
ついた?
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that's before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
What do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
なんか急に都合いいぞ。さっきの偉そうな態度何だったんだよ、こいつ。いや、こっからが本当のスタートですか。あれなんかすごいブチって音楽消えたけど。ローディングっておいおいおい。ちょっと待てよ。やっぱ音楽かっこいいね、このゲーム。ちょっとウィッチャー味あるけど。
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes.
英語わかりやすくていいな、この。
Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't.
あ、意外と背ちっちゃいんだね。
The staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
かっこいいね、服。めっちゃかっこいいじゃん、服。私を病院へ連れてって。病院でウィリアム・ビショップの血液を分析する。あ、病院着いたね。ほうほうほう。
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
ここ通れないんかい。何してんの？ちょっと。
Rotten all-crystal. Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river. Try it all.
Bastard gave me a good Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you ass!
今さ、殺人してなかった？
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
こいつが刺してたよ
That's a
ね。
very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
ブラッドクリーティ特定の市民が獲得 XP の量を示します。はんはんはん。血液の飲む獲物を催眠して人目につかまれる場所へ連れて行く必要が、そのためには催眠レベルが市民の抵抗力以上でなければなりません。L1 でクレイを催眠します。赤い痕跡をたどって獲物を影に追い込みましょう。X でクレイコックスを吸血するか丸で解放します。クレイを吸血すると獲得 XP が大幅に上昇しますが、代償を払わなければならないため注意が必要です。市民についての見識を深めてヒントを集めると獲得経験値が上昇します。あ
ー。No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
いや、マジでこいつは殺してもいいと思うけどね。関係性無関係。あー、なるほどね。怪我してたんじゃないのか。あ、話しかけられる。
Whoa, I feel giddy. What happened? Did I black out?
ああ。
What happened?
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
なんなのここに。ああ。
It's locked, all right.
クレイコックス健康じゃん。なんだよ嘘つき。突然音楽始まるな。
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
怒られた。
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He
あ、もう
requires
ここの展
urgent
開が
medical
吸ってると
attention.
変わるんだよね。
Already making the rounds. That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
いい人すぎる
I
ジョ
gave
ナ
him
サ
a
ン。
sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
いや、もう全然知らねえよ。
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
なんか皮肉言われたんだけど。
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
ああ、そういうイメージなのね。
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the
階段上が
stairs.
って
It's the
左。
last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
突き当たり分かりやすくていいよ、ありがとう。
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
誰かいる。
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir.
グビーね、
I'm
すごい名
Nurse
前だ
Grace
な。
Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique.
マジか。
Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
もう有名人じゃん。
Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
輸血で治せるの？
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
あ
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
へえ。
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
なんかすっごい個人的な話になってきてない？
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett.
ティペッツ先
He should
生。
be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age
若くなく
be
て
a
いいよ。
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
ああ、休めないタイプなのね。ああ、なんかイケメンそう。あ、顔まだわかんねえのか。関係性。ああ、この人となんかあんのかな。
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
意外と硬くな。ああ、ヒントが必要。
Goodbye.
ありがとね。
Call me if you need assistance.
いろいろ聞き出してから吸えば全然話が変わってくるってことか。いっぱいいるな、人が。こんにちは。
Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
あ、出た。ティペッ
Famous
ツさ
Dr.
ん。
Reed has joined us.
いや、
I
いい
can't
老
think
け
of
具
any
合じ
better
ゃ
news
ん。
during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before
マジか。
at the Rockefeller University in
ニュ
New
ーヨー
York.
クで会ってんの？
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
そうなんだね。
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good.
他はそうでもない。
During this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
何これ悪口を聞く感じなの？
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
ああ、現場に出てこないんだね。
Tell me more about cherished people then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've
ブ
ever
ラナガ
worked
ン
with.
看護師が
A
一
clever
番
and
優
cheerful
秀。
woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
ああ、グビネスのことね。やっぱここ仲いいんだ。
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
お互い認めてるわけだ。
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No, we must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
なんか良くない感じになっちゃった。
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
奥にいるのか。あれ？なんかいっぱい寝てるけど、これは全然関係ない感じ。
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well,
なんか
tonight maybe I'm inclined
お
to
かしくなっちゃ
mercy.
ってる？
You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
はあ。
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
そうなの？
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I
遺
visit the
体安置所
garden
の
near the
近
morgue.
くの庭。
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me.
Oh.
For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
新しいミッション。間違った標的。あ
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul. Or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even...
ああ、コタード症候群、自分がヴァンパイアであると思い込んでいる。
begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before
この
becoming
個人的な質問枠は何なの？
time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life.
恋愛できたりするわけこのゲーム。よくわかんないけど。診察？
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
なんか治療してあげられるのか。ああ、はあはあはあ。
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
ここら辺の人たちをどんどん直してあげるのがこのゲームの目的の一つでもあるのか。とりあえず自分の部屋探す。あんま会話してるとめっちゃいるな。ドロシーやん。めっちゃいる。
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune.
またこの人もいい顔してんな。メガネ。
Thank you. And you are?
白衣似合うね。
Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work,
いやもう
Dr.
ファン多すぎでしょ。
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed.
いやめっちゃファンじゃん。
I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am
めっ
honored
ちゃ
to
ファ
have
ン
the
だわ。
opportunity to work by your side.
いや可愛いかよ。
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the
い
only
や
ones
可愛くなって
able
き
to
た。
defeat
ストリックランド。名前が長くて覚えられないけど。
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you
あ、まだ成功していない。
won't
はいはい。
fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the
キラ
ravages
キ
of
ラ
this
してんな。
epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal
個
research.
人的な
Yet
研
my
究。
supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
ああ、またミッションを。ミッション。市民クエスト、これか？ 違うな。あ、これか。はあはあはあはあはあ。なるほどね。
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these
times. I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
あ、ようやく顔が曇った。ようやく顔が曇ったってなんだろう。まあいいや。
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
なんか今ちょっと話さ、すっ飛ばなかった？まあいいや。いいか。サンキュー。
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
もうめっちゃファンじゃん。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for
反対派もいるん
hiring
だね。
you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
私のこと素人扱いですか？
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
相当有名人なんだね、この主人公。
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure. But my young colleague obviously disagrees.
ああ、後輩なんだ。
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
なるほどね。昔ながらのやり方をこのハーベイさん探さないとな。
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
いた、ハーベイ。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and
これ分かってる
Ackroyd.
でしょ。
They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
ここら辺能力使ってるわけ。
because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Ah.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
お家に帰りたいのね。
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Makes me like a book.
書きかけの手紙。どこで見るんだ？見れないや、いいや。2階で自分のオフィスを見つける。メインクエスト。ああ、ここに行けばいいのね。2階どこ？どうやって行くの？これ誰
？Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
まあ個人的にストリックランドの意見の方が好きだな。あ、ここ階段ね。公共の場での席禁止。なんか今の世の中みたいじゃん。なんかタイムリーだな。あ、誰かいるけど入れない。
It's locked.
長い手紙、詳細。どこで見んの？まあいいや。左行って。突き当たりっつってたけど。あ、なんかゲットした。ほうほうほう。いろいろ武器もあんだね。この辺はなんかあれか。パワーアップ素材か。
I cannot enter.
あ、この部屋じゃん。私の部屋じゃん。ここ誰なの？ちょっと見たい。あー、ティペッツとストリックとアクロイドみんな同じ部屋なんだ。へえ。自分だけなんか一部屋ずるくない？
It's definitely away from prying eyes.
自分だけなんかずるいね。
A kingdom of my own.
ずるいね、
At least
な
I
んか。
won't be sleeping in a coffin.
ああ、もう長い。いいです。
The flower's dying. It needs water.
ここは弾薬補充ができるのか。クラフト、調創剤。分析。はあはあはあ。警棒強そう。ノコギリ無理だね。パワーアップこれも無理だね。カマは無理。何もパワーアップできないっていうね。
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
確かに時間はいくらで
I
もあ
have
るな。
so much time now.
あ、結構体力が。ちょっとここ上げとこうぜ。スタミナも上げとくか。基本的に自分の体力上げときたいよね。オッケー。ちゃういちいち実行を押さなきゃいけない。
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
確かに。地区の状態、健康。へえ、こんなんあるんだ。どうしたドロシー？
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running?
怒っちゃった。そういう意味じゃないよ。
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
あ、出た、遺体安置
Perhaps
所。
I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse. It's locked.
と とりあえず彼のミッションやりに行くか。迷子。病院の中迷子。
It's locked, all right.
ロックかかりすぎだろこの病院。彼女の件もちょっと解決したいよね。あと130メートル。血の跡あるけど。ヤバタニエン。やばい、火はやばい。火はやばい。死んだし。相変わらずまだ戦闘がうまくできないな。いや、まさかの死んだし。あなたは破壊されました。炎は我々好みの武器だ。獣を滅ぼすには燃やすのが一番確かにな。あなたは破壊されましたなんだ。ウケる。これどっから？いやー、まだね、ちょっとこの戦闘システムがね、うまくロード長いよ。ん？死んだところから復活ですか？ここどこ？はあはあはあはあ。はあはあはあはあ。ちょっとこの地図使いづらいな。てかレベル高っ。そりゃ勝てねえわ。しかも近接が効かないし、この人ね。レベル高すぎてまだ相手にしちゃいけないじゃん。
It's locked.
おっとっとっと、強いんだけど。こっち側危険地域じゃない？でもあそこ渡らないといけないな。ここセカンドクエストまだ行かない方がいいか。とりあえずこっち行こうか。あともう一つのミッションってなんだっけ？ あっちね。普通に戻るか。怖え。この辺ハンターが強すぎでしょ。無視無視。この血の跡気になるけど、まあとりあえず無視でいっか。ああ間違えた。
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
え？やっぱさっきの血の跡そういうこと？いやいや、強い強い強い。敵が強い。まだ行っちゃいけないとこだよ。ちゃんとレベル上げないと。裏に回ってとりあえずまっすぐ抜けて、え？お前か。痛い痛い痛い。こうやって突然現れるのね。びっくりしたわ。めっちゃいるじゃん。やば。自分より強えし。なんでこんな庭にスカルだらけなのよ。やばいなこの病院。こっち側ね。開くし。開くんかい。普通に病院の中入っちゃった。ん？こっち側ってこと？病院は満室です。
It's locked, all right.
かいな。多分この辺のはずなんだけど。
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. It's locked, all right.
町があなたをもとに効果的な医療援助によって人命を救うインフルエンザの前に愛が当たることもボランティアでこの状況を変えましょう。ああ、人手が足りてないんだね。どうも。
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean? You used to be a doctor. Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
A funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
ああ、そうなの?
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
幽霊見えんのこの人?
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down
へえ、
by
葬
the
儀屋さんだったん
docks.
だ。
A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton
見る
Hooks
となん
helped
か
me
さっ
get a
き名
job
前出
here.
てきたな。
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
なるほどね。
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning
あ、
of
衛
the
生上
epidemic.
な。なるほど。
Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
つまりここショップ?
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is
死
short,
後の世界を信
and
じ
the
てないんだ。
obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think
Foolish
otherwise.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our
いやー、なん
humanity,
か
sir.
予言されてない自分のことでしょう、これ。
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
何買ってく、何売ってくれんの？ああ、謎の処方箋。アヘンか。この謎の処方箋ちょっと気になるけどね。
Never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, at the same time.
テルマを狙っているのが何かを突き止める。いや、どうすればいいんでしょう。わからんな。
It's locked. It's locked.
まあいいや、遺体安置所の方行くか。ここね。ロードが長いな。このクエストを完了したら今回は終わりにしようかな。ちょっと飽きてきた。会話が長くてね。まあ最初だからしょうがないんだけど。古い遺体安置の有用な医薬品を見つける。なんか敵出てきそう。急にホラーゲームなんだけど。いるよね、やっぱ。音楽が不穏。 暗い暗い暗い。
It's locked, all right.
ほらいるじゃん。
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
そうなんだ。
I cannot enter.
I cannot enter.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
地下室ね。何？戦闘？ああ、いたんかい。気づかなかった。強い強い。全然気づかなかったお前。地下室ってどこ？
It's locked. Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
なんかテンション上がってない？地下室ね。あれこれ上行けんの？上行けるわ。先に上行こうか。これだけか、上は。今いなかった？今いたよね、なんか。怖っ。どこのホラー映画ですか？ホラーゲームか。いるね。
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Okay. いるか。まだいるか。あ、いるね、あっちに。いるね。 イミングが。来てる。来てないか。あっちに行ったい。なんか死体？遺体？あ、なんか武器ゲットした。あれ？ああ、新しいオフハンド武器を手に入れました。装備して三角を押すとブラッドを直接吸収します。なんだと？どれだっけ手に入れたの。これか？新しく市民を調査できるようになりました。はあ。市民調査は地区ごとに分類されてここに表示されます。新しい市民クエストは四角でマーキングしてマップ画面で探索エリアを表示すると開始できます。うん。あー、なるほどね。はいはいはい。
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. It's locked, all right. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
ティペッツってさ、確かさ、この人だよね。やばいじゃん、なかなかに。あ、なんか、今出てたな。クレイさん。競争剤使うと、みたいな？よくわかんないな。ほんと暗くてね。今の部屋でしょ。 敵はいなさそう。あ、いるじゃん。何、ボスですか？嘘。え、なんか2人いない？ちょっと待って、強くね？ちょおっとっとっとっと、なんで分離すんの？やばいやばいやばい。やばいって。あ、嘘。やばいやばい。やばいやばいやばい、本当にやばい。次食らったら終わるぞ。ちょっと1対2ってずるくない？マジで回復しないと。おっとっとっと。マジでずるい。回復回復。今やったべお、やばいやばいやばい。あぶねー。
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger.
ほんとその通りだよ。
To drink blood is so tempting.
血飲めば強くなれるけどね。
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
サンプル取れないのこいつ。取れないか。競争剤を作るね。いや、血をくれ。体力がやばい。進化のために休息を取るって言われたけど。待って、いるんかい。やばい。 よし。うっと、もうこんなんにやられてる場合じゃないよ。うっそ、やばい。あ、やっば、終わったかも。危ねえ。うっそー、今カバー入ったべ。いやー、危ねえ。こんな雑魚にやられてる場合じゃないって、本当に。意外とパリーが難しいんだよな。またいるし、もうどんだけいんのよ。ちょっと暗くて戦えない。やばい。ちょっとこれはやばいって。うっそー、今三角押したっていやマジでちょっとさ、これ戦闘クソすぎない？このゲーム。いややば。いややば。もう市民の血が進化のための一番の早道っていうのは分かってるけどさ。いやちょっと待ってよ、今のちゃんと三角押したよパリ。いやマジか。いや戦闘がちょっとひどすぎる。これ戦闘システムひどすぎるわ。どっからどっから。暗いんだよもういちいち。なんでこれ防げないんだ。スタミナか。はあ、オートファジー上げとかないとな、マジで。ちょっと出口どこ？めっちゃいいんだけど。ちょっとさ、やっぱそうだ、スタミナだ。いやー、スタミナが結構難しいな。 やばいやばい、めっちゃいる敵。上も敵だらけじゃん。いやー、ちょっとブラッドが足りない。ちょっと戦い方考えないとな。あー、でもなんかなんだっけ、拳銃持って、あー、そっか、オフハンド武器。ちょっとこれ使ってみようか。なんでこいつら復活すんの。2人いるのここで死んだんだよね。マジか。健康状態が壊滅的な水準に悪化すると地区は混沌に陥ります。そんな感じなの？地区壊滅とかしちゃうんだ。いや、よくできてるような。難しいなこのゲーム、バランスが。クエストも失われちゃうのね。いや、超大変じゃん。ロードが長い。ロードが長いです。競争剤を作る。ああ。ん？ちょ。は？ちょっと。ちゃんと出ないんだけど。ああ、もう。めっちゃいいんだけど、しかも強い。来たし。何、仲間呼んだ？なんか新しいミッションゲットしたけど。もうミッションが出すぎてて、オープンワールドの良くないとここれよね。やることどんどん増えてっちゃう。テルマの件どうにかしたいんだけどな。 まあ、いっか、病院入るか。私のお気に入りちゃんが。とりあえず部屋に戻って。なんかラブレターもらってたみたいだけど。
The flower's dying. It needs water.
水が必要って言ってるけどさ。で、競争剤を製作できる素材が揃っています。クラフト。分析。風邪薬。ほう。血清は戦うための武器ね。なるほどね。風邪薬作れんじゃん。作っとく？でね、鎌をちょっとね、アップグレードできたらしたいんだけど無理。あ、これできんじゃん。これできるね。リストンとスタミナ。そう、ブラッド吸収できるやつね、これ。リサイクルできるやつ、ガンガンリサイクルした方がいいのかな。いいねで売れる。素材にリサイクルできる。あ、やっぱそうだよね。いいねで売れるってやつは残しとこうか。レベル3にはできない。鎌は？鎌も無理。これも足りない。お、貧血の薬とか作れるようになったな。オッケー。ドロシー・クレインに薬を持っていく。ドロシーどこ？なんか下に不明なのがいるな。ちょっと話しかけとくか。あなたか
？Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been
はじめましてだ。
introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
ホーキンスだって。
Dr. Swansea has recently
ちょっと反応しちゃうね。
in this hospital.
Well, It's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
なんか全然関係ない話してない。
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
お疲れ様。
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
ずいぶん疲れてるんで。
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
まあ確かにそうだね。
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
出たミルトン。
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
Nurse Hawkins.
ミルトンそっちにいるね。あ、いた。どうも。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
ああ、この人はなんか売ってくれんのかまた。
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry.
ああ、そういう腐り方もしてるのね。
We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
随分。
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
なるほど。
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden.
あら
I
ま、
lost
そう
my
なん
wallet
だ。
when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
こいつが逃がしたのか、
Since
庭
you're
に。
on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet. With all the
Ah.
money and...
そうだったのか、やっぱそうだったの
yeah,
か。
Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is
彼かのな
as
んだね。
broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
あんまり銃使わねえんだよな。ああ、ショットガンとかある。すげえ。買えないけど。ちょっと見ると
Good
ごめ
evening,
ん。
Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
そうだね。
Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital
Oh,
staff
so
are
nanda.
not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
まあ確かにね。Thank you.
Goodbye, Milton.
さて、ドロシーどこ？あ、なんか不明がいる。
Good evening,
終わんねー。
Unless you're
薬
in
を
to fix
渡
my
したら終わり
face.
にしようと思ったのに。
No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little
Ah,
mug right
そうなんだ。
off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you
相当不満っぽい
precisely
ね。
why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars. If you get my drift.
ああ、そうなんだ。
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes
確かに。
too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood.
あららら、だいぶ面白い関係だね。
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
まあ確かにね。
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome.
結構辛辣に攻めるな。
She truly believes she's a vampire.
ジョナ
In
サ
her
ン。
madness, she never refers to my scars. But frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. Here again.
あ、シェーン。そういえば。
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
なんかみんなの悪口聞きたがるね、このキャラクター。
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I
なる
don't
ほ
know
どね。
why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their
レ
leader.
ッドブードボーイズ。
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
クレイコックスってあいつか。
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones.
あ
I knew
あ。
her when she lived by the docks.
知らないな。
That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
やっぱちゃんとした聖職者じゃないんだね。
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
一応健康だね。
It's locked, all right.
ドロシーどこ？あ、不明がまたいる。誰あれ？なんかいろいろ。入れないのか、普通に。アクロイドじゃなくて、あ、ドロシーいた。
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
市民は病にかむブラッドクオリティが低下します。適切な薬で病を治しましょう。ドロシーの奥の部屋の患者と話をして彼の療養状態を確認しましょう。またなんか不明がいるな、あそこに。市民の血液の獲得 XP が大量に増加します。抵抗力が自分の催眠レベル以下の市民を探して慎重に狙いを定めましょう。ああ。なんか不明がいるぞ。ペッツいるね。何もできないんかい。ちょっとティペッツに話だけつけようか。
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
いいニュースではない。
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake.
もう認めた。
That's the blunt truth.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
いいおっさんだな。
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
これだけか。 不明だらけ。
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
どんどんキャラが出てきて話が終わらん。
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the
勝
people
手に金を
involved.
受け取ってる可能性があるってことか。
Compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
いろんな思惑がすごいな。
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
R1 で市民の療養状態を確認します。市民を治療するとブラッドクオリティが上昇し XP が手に入ります。地区の健康状態も高まります。ほうほうほう。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes,
すげえな、ジョナサン。
but I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
話してくれないね。喉直してあげ
Do
な
you
い
need
と。
any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
ああ、競争剤を渡せばよかったんだ。ほう。
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
マジか。
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
なんかお母さんやばくない？
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
お母さんやばいでしょ。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
変わんないな状況。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
As for me,
薬渡したけど
I'm an idiot.
江戸川ん
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
間違えた。ドロシーだ。
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
ギリギリラインって感じだね。
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
A1 漢字が読めなかった。
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
江戸川スリンジどこにいるの？そっちか。おお、仲良く話してるね。
It's locked, all right.
いけないし。多分これそうだよね。
At least that mistress of the dark has stopped following me.
「家から出ないようにしましょう」。うわー、めっちゃ今の状況だね、リアルに。まあ実際感染病が大変なことになってるのは一緒だからね。 マスクの作り方。わからん。いいや、帰ろう。この外出れたんだ。知らんかった。防御とかできんだ。へえ。いや、スタミナ超大事。クロー線も使うんだ。オートファジー600。どうすればいいの？よくわからんな。ヘルスは上げられるね。スタミナあと1165。自動回復量アップ。500か。ライフ上げんのには足らないな。オッケー。毎晩あなたの行動によって地区の健康状態は改善するか悪化します。健康状態は市民に疫病が広がることでも悪化します。はあ。あなたが命を奪うほど地区の健康状態は悪化します。地区の健康状態が壊滅的な水準を下回ると一帯は大混乱に陥り、地区の運命を決めるのはあなたです。はあはあはあはあはあ。競争剤超大事なんだね。いやー難しいなこのゲーム。はい、ということでなんか結局長々やっちゃいましたが、今回はここまでにしようと思います。はい、 ではありがとうございました。また次いつやるかわかんないけど次回でお会いしましょう。ありがとうございました。